Yes, I, Black again. I am not Sage, Sage of the seventh part, so I am here, and this is the fifth part of mankind's creation. And what we have in front of us is the depiction of Newton Geb, and for those who are familiar with Newton Geb, you know, what it represents. Now I'm just highlighting the representation of the Earth on the cosmos, on the air, the atmosphere, and we're just looking at what our ancient um, ancestors used to describe nature and the cosmic forces, and the air that we breathe and everything. So as we could already see, for those who already know, you know, um, our ancestors use actual living people, you know. I mean actual living people, but they describe nature as human beings, in the form of human beings. As we could see, the goddess Nut, this giant female who represents the universe, and we have Geb, which represents the earth, and we have Shu, who represents the earth, and we have the realms, who represent the gods. So we see everything is represented by man and woman, you know. So we see this is the essence of life. This is the balance of life, female aspect and the male aspect, female aspect and the male aspect, it's in all of creation. It's in all of creation. So this is why our ancestors manifested symbols, with the animals and man himself, nature, everything that represents nature, So I'm just highlighting this, to show that what the earth is represented by man, and cosmos represented by female, and Newton Geb was once together, so it's both male and female, attributes, you know. So saying that to say now, I keep in mind this is the fifth part of mankind's creation. So we're breaking down mankind's creation and how mankind was created, from man and woman. So mankind came from man and woman, and from mankind we get human beings. So this is what we're breaking down. So we go into Newton Geb. I'm showing this depiction right here about Newton Geb to give the aspect of what the earth is represented by. So when I go into my next video now, you're going to get the idea of where I'm coming from. You understand? So since we all have the aspect already that, the earth is represented by man and woman, the cosmos also. So we should see features of this all in the earth. So when we see things being created in the earth, they should be represented after man and woman in whatever species or whatever category they may find themselves, even if it is the stones that seems to have no life as we think. You understand? So we want to go on to Credo Mutwa, the great Credo Mutwa, the shaman, that holds all African how do you say it, folklore and mysteries. He's the one who all the folklore and mysteries has been passed down to, as he states, and so he's revealing of secrets and different things. But this particular video now, he's talking about the rocks and how the rocks take the shapes of faces of the rocks take the um, shape of the faces of man, you know, and he's talking about it, and this is South Africa, and the great Kuda Mutwa, he's explaining, you know, basically he's not really going deep and explaining the origins of it, but he's just explaining these bizarre rock images. He goes on to explain that some of the rock images, that even when the people who were experiencing them saw that the rocks had the images of faces of man, they would even go and further enhance it, even to make it more human-like. You understand? Make the faces more, make the rocks look like faces of humans even more. You know, by enhancing it. So he goes on to explain this. You know. So let's hear what he says.
I say again that South Africa is a land of mystery.
I'm going to start it right now.
I am by profession a Sanusi, a priest diviner of the great Earth Mother. I am also entrusted with a huge amount of folklore which has never been recorded by anyone in this land. I have traveled far across the earth. I have been to many countries and to many places. And I can tell you, and dare anyone to contradict me, that the land known as South Africa contains the most mysteries that are to be found in this world.
So the great Mutwa, you know, the shaman is so basically what he's saying, that, you know, the surface has not been even scratched when it comes to folklore and the mysteries of Africa. You know, it goes, you know, a long way. So so even the knowledge that everybody gets of the earth and some of the mysteries that goes along with it, it's not even close, or, you know, it's not even close, I should say, to the deep mysteries and folklore that Africa holds. You know, the normal thing that we've been taught and how we've been grew up in society and the Caribbean and wherever we are, you know, because we have to keep in mind that we are in slavery and we are going through a time period. You know, we are slaves captured, and, you know, we are soldiers captured and indoctrinated, and, you know, and bred, and our children have been used to produce this type of system that we live in, and we are using all manners, always, that you could think of. Black people are being used to develop this new world, you know. So saying that to say now, Africa holds deep history, hasn't even been scratched, you know, the mysteries, and we want to go all in space, and, you know, but yeah, we're not getting off track. Let's continue listening to Frida Mutwa concerning the rocks.
Archaeologists have not even scraped.
For those who cannot see, so you could see the structures of the faces right here. You could see the structure of the face. Yeah. Many different structures of faces of different people.
The surface of this country.
Now keep in mind, keep in mind why I showed Nut and Geb, what they represent, right? Geb represent the earth, Nut represent the universe through the air. So whatever being produced out of the earth, right, will be represented, will be reference from man and woman, because this is the science of the universe, man and woman. This is the opposite of each other that brings the balance, you know. So they don't match each other. They are opposite. A woman has a vagina, she has breasts, a man has, you know, a man is different. So they don't match each other in the way that they look. But when they come together now, you know, they bring a balance, you know. So this is the balance of the universe, the mother and the father, you know. So I'm saying all that. So when we see the earth now, you know, this is why I'm showing this, and this is why we are saying this.
There are
because
many things that wait
because everything is being produced out of man and woman. So even the rocks that have been formed sometimes take the shapes of man and woman. So this is why I'm playing this.
To be discovered. There are.
So even to go even further now, we're even going further to show you that how the earth represents man and woman.
Inside a giant golden vagina.
Now what we're looking at is a I should pause.
They're everywhere.
Now this is Mud Fossil University. Now what we're looking at right now is what we're looking at is we're inside of a cave right here, and it's actually a vagina, giant vagina. So they're actually looking into a giant vagina. So this is Mud Fossil University, and he's breaking down the anatomy of this cave and shows that it is equivalent to a human being, but just in a gigantic stage, you know, because everything, like I said before we go into this, like I said, Nut and Geb. So everything represented on earth is of the human body, right? But it's sometimes such on a gigantic scale that we don't observe it, and sometimes such a small scale that we don't observe it, right? So Nut and Geb, you know, we see it all in the rocks, right? We see them all in the rocks, taking the shapes of faces, right? And then we have them in caves, right? In the rocks, in the mountains, and all over, right? So let's go.
I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Look, there's another one over here you can't get away from. So, just watch. This guy here,
so just watch.
Aquachip. He does all kinds of stuff, and he's in this cave. And he's showing, Greg and his crew are down in, right now, doing a internal autopsy on some gigantic woman giant. And they seem to have some kind of discharge that's in the vagina that's gold. They gold looking, and it's probably pyrite or something. Look at that. Oh, what is that stuff again? That's a vagina. I'm sorry, that's what it is. Now, you know, this is all about...
So basically, Mud Fossil University, basically they break down the mud fossils, the stones, the rocks, mountains, and show you the representation of man, animals, and all different type of things. So right now, basically, they're in a cave, and basically this is the vagina, and he's showing like the discharge from the vagina is actually, it has turned into gold. And this is all earth, right? Actually turned to gold. So they're just breaking down the inside of the vagina. So
biology, history, so forth. So I've been showing a lot of vaginas. I mean, see that? Look, it's coming out. That's a vagina. Now, and not only that.
So you could see.
Anus. It's right there. All the mosquitoes, like the anus. Now,
that's the anus right here.
I don't know what to say.
Vagina hole right there.
Greg and his guys are going to be doing all of this collection of data and information. But anyway, getting back to, today's ladies' night, or ladies' day at Mud Fossil University, because I can get the where is all.
Let's go a little back again. Let's go back.
It's right there, all the mosquitoes, like the anus. It's all about biology, history, so forth. So I've been showing a lot of vaginas. I mean,
You see that?
It's coming out. That's a vagina.
It's a cave, right?
No.
The form of a vagina. It has all the parts.
There's the anus. It's right there, all the mosquitoes, like the anus. Now,
This is the earth.
I don't know what to say other than that Greg and his guys are going to be doing all of this collection of data. And
Remember I showed Newton and Gabe, right? Representation of the earth and the universe, right? And we could see
but anyway, getting back to
all this taking over,
ladies,
all this is taking place all in the earth.
Ladies' Day at
Because the earth is from after its maker.
Penises. That's what every rock has a key. I mean, there's a lot of penises around, but I mean, I'm not really a penis guy myself. So, but I'll show it to them. Let's take a look at it. Okay, ladies, you asked for it. There we got a.
Now there we are. As we could already see what it is. You know? It's a mud fossil erected. It's a giant penis turned into stone.
Pagan penis. And of course, we also have your Judeo-Christian penis, the person right down there. All right.
Now all this is in all this is in the rocks. All these things is in the rocks. That's my point. All these things is in the rocks. Like I mentioned, Newton Gabe, right? And we all know the famous picture with the resurrection, with the long erected penis. So all this is in the earth. We can see all this is in there. This is why I'm highlighting all this, to highlight this. Newton Gabe, our ancestors give the understanding of the earth and the universe in the format of man and woman, because this is really the mechanics, or of the mechanism of our universe and the multiverse and everything that is within everything. You understand? So this is the balance of life. You understand? And our ancient African ancestors had the science now to create mankind. Because you see how far the science go. You see how far the science go. And our ancient... So let's go even further to give even more proof. Let's go even further.
Female giant's body. That's the abdominal cavity. This is the vaginal, that's the vaginal, canal, and it has all of this little lines in it and fluting, and I'll show you that too.
So you see the lines?
Now this, I believe, is a natural thing. That's what's called the vestibule. So let's look at the anatomy. You see that? That's the vestibule. I think that is natural. So you've got that little lump on it too. And then you have all this fluting in the vaginal canal. And then, of course, you got the cervix. They call it fornix. I always thought of it cervix. But at the top is where the seam runs right up through the body. Now, let's look at another shot. See, that's the layers in the vaginal walls there.
Now, this is on the micro level, right? All this is on the micro level, right? But when it comes to a giant now, this might be so big that you won't recognize that's what you're looking at, because it's on a gigantic level when it comes to giants. But when it comes to normal sized people now, you can only see this on a microscopic level. But when it comes to giants now, it's something you could see with your visible eyes, because they are on a giant scale, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
That are inside the vaginal canal. And they're very obvious. You see them. And I'm going to show you one. This is the thing. The earth is nothing like...
So this, on a giant level, will be big enough for us to walk in. But on a normal scale, we could only see this under a microscope. So we see the twist we see. And on a giant level now, what we see in the microscope in a normal body will be visible. You understand? So that's why we have this. That's why we have this on a giant scale, and we could actually see it. Not the vagina actually, but just to show the scale of what we're looking at. You understand? And you could actually walk into it and think you're walking into a cave, but it's a big vagina of the earth. This is why I was showing this. It's all after the design of man and woman. This is why we are saying this. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna end this video right here, and we're gonna continue part 6, you know, creation of mankind. So give thanks, Jah Rastafari.